So I should really call these segments Baking with Bean because she is constantly on the counter watching me and trying to get into whatever I'm making. Say hi, Bean. She's got RBF, but it's fine. So today I told you we were going to make desserts, and since I'm making a birthday cake, I decided I'd show you guys, and I'm kind of going to do a semi-homemade just because not everyone knows how or wants to make cake from scratch all the time, every time. It is a pain in the butt, but it's what I grew up doing, so it's fine. But I am using a box cake mix today, so I've already have it all mixed up and stuff just because it's not exciting to put eggs and oil into the cake mix and stir it and show you guys. There's no point. But make sure you follow the box directions. They're there to help you, obviously. Make sure you follow the altitude instructions. I'm at a high altitude, so I follow those. Make sure you know where you're at so your cake doesn't turn out janky. You can also substitute eggs for applesauce to make it vegan if you want, or if you don't want a bunch of eggs, or if you're on some kind of diet, do that. I use about 2 tablespoons for every egg that it calls for. Cinnamon cake, I'm doing a Butterfinger chocolate cake. Usually, if you're adding chips or anything, you want to coat them in flour so they don't sink to the bottom and burn. It makes for a yucky cake. Make sure you do that. Since these chunks are pretty big and the Butterfinger material is different than a chocolate chip, I think they'll be okay. I didn't soak them in flour or whatever. But just be aware that that's what you do. So I'm going to put it in the oven and make the frosting, and we'll go from there. Before we get started, Argentina is playing against Chile today in football. Go Argentina. And then the other one, I promise I actually do stuff with my hair. It's not just gross all the time, but it's not important. We're going to make a peanut butter cream cheese frosting for the Butterfinger chocolate cake, and I'm really excited. A tip about cream cheese, though, it has to be room temperature or it's going to make lumpy frosting, and nobody wants lumpy frosting. So make sure you set it out the night before or a few hours before. If you're going to impulsively make cake, you can microwave it, I guess, but you want to keep the consistency of the cream cheese or it's not going to be fluffy frosting. Just because I've made frosting about 1,000,001 times. But I have about 4 ounces of cream cheese in my bowl, and I've got some peanut butter. I don't measure peanut butter because then you have to get a spoon out, scoop it in the cup, scoop it out of the cup, and then put it in there, scoop it off the spoon again. It's just time consuming, and I don't know, it's just kind of weird. But, so I just scoop it on the spatula out of the jar. And you want about the same amount of peanut butter as you have cream cheese. Let's see. And you just, I don't know, you just kind of plop it in your blender, or not your blender, your mixer. You throw it in there, and then I'm going to put a little bit of powdered sugar in it just for sweetness. You can use vanilla, but that's kind of weird for the kind of frosting I'm making. Find your favorite recipe. Since I'm not using one, I can't leave you one today, but Pinterest is always a good thing, or you can Google it, or ask your mom, or, find an old lady. She'll help you out. But, oh, that was aggressive. But, so you just want as much peanut butter as you do cream cheese so that the ratio is even, and that you can taste each of the ingredients. But I'm going to mix up the cream cheese. And then you want it well blended, obviously. And since your cream cheese is supposed to be at room temperature, then it's going to blend well. And you're going to have a nice, smooth frosting, and obviously add more or less of each depending on how it turns out after you stir it and taste it and whatever. I'm going to taste mine in a second once I get it kind of a little bit more incorporated, and let you know about a tablespoon of water and about a cup of powdered sugar to the peanut butter cream cheese. That's what it should look like. You want it to be smooth and like slidey, obviously, but you don't want it to be too thick or it's not going to spread. And that's why the cream cheese peanut butter ratio is important. And then I don't have anyone here to lick the beaters for me, so I went ahead and licked one. The cake is almost done. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more of the Butterfinger chips on top when I'm done frosting it, but I will frost it for you and show it to you when it's done. And so it takes me forever and a day to frost just because I want it to be perfect and get everywhere. So I just did it without the video. But here's what it looks like. I did sprinkle some more Butterfinger on top. Make sure that your cake is cooled before you frost it or your frosting's gonna melt since the oil and the peanut butter mixes with the heat of the cake, and it's just like, eh. And it doesn't like that. So make sure it's cooled down. It can still be a little bit warm to the touch, but don't have it be hot straight out of the oven. And then don't cover it up with a lid or your foil or whatever until the cake is cooled and set up a little bit more. Your frosting soggy and sweaty and gross, and nobody wants soggy, sweaty cake. So this is what it looks like. Happy birthday to Mitchell. I'm also taking some to work tonight just because I'm nice, and I can't eat a whole cake since Christian's not here. But if you want any more instruction, or you have questions or comments, or you have something else you want me to make or talk about or do anything, make sure you let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys next time.